everybody! I'm at Toho Cinemas. I'm gonna go see Star Wars. It's gonna be cool. I'll see you after the show. Ha!
There's too much Vader in him. Hey, welcome to After Star Wars 7, The Force Awakens. I just got back from the theater. Here is my ticket all crumpled up because I was squeezing it on the train as I was thinking of what to say. There are so many things to say about this film. I don't know where to start. It's pretty dang good. It is a good movie. Everyone should go and see this movie. Especially if you're a Star Wars fan, go and see this film. Okay, let's start with the story. First of all, we're opening up on a desert planet with this one guy in a jacket and this other guy who's older, and they're talking to each other. This is a very important piece of information. Also, by the way, spoilers like crazy. I mentioned it earlier. I put up a warning, but just in case you ignored that warning, spoilers are ahead. And so the guy with the jacket, he's got BB-8, and BB-8's like boop, 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 and BB-8, oh my god, I like BB-8 a lot. I was worried he was gonna be kind of annoying. I thought he was just gonna be a copy of R2-D2. Not the case. I like him more, if not exactly as much as I like R2-D2. Which is saying something. Everyone likes R2-D2. R2-D2 is a lovable character, which for some reason he's not really in this movie that much. He's just kind of like, he's there not doing anything for a bit, and then he comes in the end and does something, which is kind of weird. So back to the old guy and the guy with the jacket. His name is Poe. He's a pilot for the rebellion. He's a pilot for the resistance. The old guy, he gives a flash drive kind of thing that has a map to find Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker apparently went missing. Why? Because he felt like he needed to, because something bad happened and it was kind of on his watch, and he just felt horrible, so he secluded himself off to some place, and at the end of the movie, as they're talking and exchanging the flash drive, here comes the First Order, and this is where you get to see all the freaking cool stormtroopers and stuff like that. They capture Poe, Pilot Poe, whatever the heck he wants to go by. I don't really give a shit. Either way, Kylo Ren comes off the ship. He's like, where is the map to find Luke Skywalker? Kylo Ren's a really cool character in this movie. He is, as it's announced in the movie, kind of early on, so, but again, this is a spoiler-filled video. You guys know what you're getting into. It's revealed that Kylo Ren is Han Solo's son. What? Didn't really think about that. For some reason, I had it in my head that Kylo Ren was going to be Luke Skywalker's son, but I mean, like, if you think about it, Jedis don't really do the dirty, so why would he have a son? Of course, Han Solo and Leia, they had some fun back in the day when they were younger, and they had a kid, and that was his actual name. It's actually pretty cool. Is Ben Solo. I like that little thing that they added there. So anyway, they capture Poe, BB-8 with who now has the microchip, or the flash drive with the map, goes off, and he finds this new female character, Rey. And she's doing all these cool things, and they're like, dude, and she can understand freaking everybody. I don't know why she can understand everybody, but she can. She can completely understand BB-8's boop boop boopy doop boop doop, which is just a bunch of peeps I don't understand. Later on, she talks to other aliens and she understands them. She understands Chewbacca, which I believe only Han Solo can understand Chewbacca. So she's an interesting, different character. We also meet Finn, who is a stormtrooper. And they were talked about how stormtroopers are made. When the First Order would actually steal children from families and raise them as their own and give them a number, and that would be their name. So Finn's name was like FN182 blah blah blah, something like that. I'm sure a lot of you people are going to know it, and you might comment on it and correct me, and that's fine. I don't remember a line of numbers very well. My bad. Either way, he realized he doesn't like what he's doing. He saw his friends get killed during like the raid on the desert colony thing that was going on, and he's just like, dude, I don't want to be part of this anymore. So he talks to Poe, who's been captured by Kylo Kyle Ren by Darth Vader 2.0. And they're on the new Death Star. It's, you know how in the first movie the Death Star is like, oh, there's something, we're being pulled into that small moon. That's no moon, that's a space station. So, okay, New Hope, Death Star is the size of a small moon. Episode 7, Force Awakens, this new Death Star, it's the size of a planet. In fact, it is a planet that they just kind of built a weapon into. It looks really cool, but come on, seriously. Oh, we need to make another Star Wars movie. What should we do? Let's make a bigger Death Star. Perfect. It's bigger Jaws. Freaking Family Guy. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea, but you know what? It's not that bad. It looks pretty cool, so I'm not gonna fight it too much. Whatever. They can do what they want. It was a fun movie. Finn breaks Poe out of the First Order's prison planet, the new Death Star. It breaks out of the Death Star and they crash land on back to the desert planet. I think Jakko, something like that. I don't really know. Again, this is being recorded. I'm not looking up anything. I'm just going off of memory at the moment. So forgive me if I get anything wrong, which I'm sure I'll get a lot of names and locations wrong. So whatever it happens, I apologize. Correct me in the comments. So they crash land on the planet, and he just kind of goes wandering through the desert. Conveniently, he walked in the correct direction to like the only town on this desert planet. It's still Star Wars, so every planet is just based on one kind of thing. So he just wanders and he just conveniently finds this town that conveniently has is where Rey lives and BB-8 is at. So they all team up, and then the First Order comes down looking for Finn, who is now a traitor. They're on the run. They're running to a ship, but that ship blows up. So she's like, I guess we'll use the piece of garbage that's over there. Pan camera. Oh, and look, it's the Millennium Falcon. Conveniently, the Millennium Falcon is there. You'll be noticing that I'm going to be saying conveniently a lot in this film. So they go, they actually meet up with Han Solo eventually, who is in the middle of a trading dispute. You know, just it's Han Solo business. And they team up with Chewbacca and Han Solo and Finn, BB-8 and Rey, and they go onto this other planet, which is the River and Forest planet. And they go into this place. It's the new cantina. They have music playing. They got all these wacky different characters and costumes. Yes, I swear to God, most of the alien species in this film is a costume, and that looks so cool. So then they talk to this old lady who's older than Yoda. Actually, she's been around for like 1,000 years. I think Yoda was only like 800, maybe 900. Again, you can correct me in the comments. I don't remember. She's just kind of old and she's been around. She knows things. And she's got a crush on that Wookiee, man. She wants the Wookiee D. And they're talking about stuff, blah, 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 blah. This is where the Force gets talked about, like, oh, the Force is all around us, blah, da, 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 da. And Finn is like, dudes, I don't want any part of this. I just want to escape from the First Order. Because they're scary and they're going to kill us. Which is understandable. I'd probably be in the same exact position as him. He is a pretty smart and realistic character for that reason. He's just like, I want to get away. And so he does, and Rey's like, no, don't do that, no. Oh, by the way, Rey is not a traditional, like, oh, save me kind of thing. She was actually kicking everybody's butt while Finn was kind of getting his ass beat in almost every fight scene that they're both in together. It's kind of funny. She saves him a lot. It's a nice little switch around. And then, hey, guess what? The Death Star blows up the Republic. Oh, sorry. Death Star 2.0 blew up a planet. Conveniently, Rey finds Luke's lightsaber in this old lady's basement. That is said that she'd explain later. We'll see. Maybe in the other movies she explains why she has Luke's lightsaber. But she's just like, that's a story for another time. Please take it. And she's like, and she touches it, and then she gets a Force vision, like, oh shit, she's seeing things. Does she have the Force in her? I think Rey might be a Jedi or something like that. Blah, blah, blah. Oh goodness. And she's like, I don't want any part of that thing. That thing made me see some weird shit. I want to see that shit. And she's like, oh, you must. But then Rey's like, no, and she runs away. And then First Order comes down, they're like invading, and Finn's like, oh shit, where the heck's Rey? And she's and the old lady's like, I don't know, she ran off somewhere. Here, take this. She gives Finn the lightsaber. He's like, what the heck is this thing? She's like, it's a weapon, use it. And so the First Order comes down, and he's like fighting all these stormtroopers, and one stormtrooper's like, traitor! He takes out this weird electric stick, and Finn turns on his lightsaber, and they start going at it. It's actually pretty cool. Rey eventually gets captured by Kylo Ren and is brought onto the Death Star 2.0, where she gets interrogated, and that's where you really discover that she is a Jedi, because like Kylo Ren has this weird Force thing where he can read people's thoughts with using the dark side of the Force, but she was able to prevent it using the light side of the Force. They kind of just like counteracted, and she actually read some of his mind, and she's like, "You're afraid, aren't you?" And he's like, "Oh, you." Finn and Han and Chewie, they meet up with the Resistance, which is being led by Princess Leia, or General Leia, which was really fun, and you got to see Leia and Han talk, and they're like, Han's like, I saw her son, and Leia's like, and he's like, yes, I know, and she's like, you need to bring him back, and he's like, I guess I should, but he's kind of scary. Like, he's pretty scary. He's got that awesome lightsaber, which they put to use. They actually use it like I thought they'd use it, where he put someone's lightsaber up against him, and then he stabbed them right in the freaking arm. Oh, that was really cool. Kylo Ren's a really fun character. Like, even when he has the helmet on, he has that deep freaking voice. He is a maniac. When he's angry, he is angry. He just turns on his lightsaber and just starts whacking at shit. When he hears bad news, just go boom, 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 boom. Anything at the drop of a pin, he just. Then he'd probably say something funny. He was a pretty fun character. Even when he takes off his helmet, he's pretty interesting. Like, when he has the helmet on, he has that Darth Vader thing going on. But when he has it off, he sounds normal, but he seems real. He's not trying too hard to be super intimidating, which would be super duper silly. He's just showing the man behind the mask. It's hard to explain. Go see the movie and see for yourself. But you can actually like kind of see that he's confused, that the dark side is what he wants, or what he thinks he wants, but there's other things at play that are kind of giving him doubts. You could definitely see that he has fear. It's talked about a lot that he's a very fearful man. That's probably why he went to the dark side, because anger leads to hate. Hate leads to fear, and fear leads to suffering, or whatever the fuck the quote is. Again, you can fix me. You can just comment on the video and correct me. I don't really care. It's fine. I'll appreciate it. Please do. So either way, so they're all with the Resistance, and they're like, we need to do something, and they're like, we need to blow up the Death Star 2.0, and they're like, yeah, we need to do that. How do we do that? And Finn's like, I used to work on that. They're like, oh, really? Yeah, you could totally help us. Like, yeah, you could totally blow up this thing, and it'll totally work. It's not the exact same thing as the first movie, but it kind of is, but not really. It's not exactly the same, but it's close. But it's different enough where I don't hate it. Where I'm not upset. It was very fun. They devise a plan to go to the Death Star 2.0 to save Rey and to blow up the Death Star 2.0. So they get there, they find Rey. Since she discovered that she's kind of a Jedi, she used her mind trick to get out of her cell, and she's kind of doing her own thing. She's doing really well on her own. She needed to be saved in the sense that she needed to get off that planet somehow, rather than actually like freeing her from something. Like every time, like I swear, Finn's character always thinks that Rey needs to be saved, but he doesn't realize that she's doing better than he is at most things. There's a part in the beginning of the movie where she and him are fighting a couple stormtroopers and stuff, and he gets his ass knocked out. And she's like, "Oh God, Finn!" She runs over to him and she tries to wake him up, and he does wake up, and then he's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And she's just like looking at him like, "Dude, yeah, I'm fine. You were the one that was passed out. I woke you up. Let's go." It was good. as they're saving Rey, they set up some detonators to blow up like a shield generator or something. They would just blow up something. And Kylo Ren comes down because he's like, I sense my father is here, because Han Solo's with them. And so Han Solo goes to confront Kylo Ren. He's like, hey, dude, I love you. You're my son. Please come home. And Kylo Ren's like, I think it's too late for me, father. It's never too late. Please come home. We miss you. I need to do something, and I am stuck, and I think I need your help. And Han's like, yeah, dude, of course, I'm your father. I'd do anything to help you. He's like, okay. Then Kylo Ren takes out his lightsaber and kills Han Solo and pushes him off a bridge, and Han Solo's body just falls. Han Solo's dead. What? It was a really cool thing. I saw it like a mile and a half away, but hey, it happened. Rey and Finn see this happen, and Chewie just like freaks the hell out and starts shooting everything and blows up the place. And so they all run outside, and this is kind of like a winter planet, because, you know, Star Wars. And this is where we got that awesome scene in the trailer where Kylo Ren just like takes out his lightsaber and goes and then Finn takes out his lightsaber, which happens to be Luke's lightsaber, and they start going at it. They start fighting. Finn gets his butt kicked. He gets a couple good hits in there, but he gets his butt kicked, like, pretty bad. And Kylo Ren's like, yes, that lightsaber belongs to me. He wants that lightsaber because it was his grandfather's, and he worships his grandfather. So he uses the Force, and he tries to get the lightsaber, but it's not coming. It's just kind of shaking there. Just kind of shaking. He's like, what the heck's going on? And then it starts coming at him, but it like comes at his face, and he like dodges it, and it goes right to Rey, and she turns it on, and they start going at it because Rey's a freaking badass Jedi mofo. How the Lucas prequels, like, everyone was super skilled with a lightsaber, and they're like flipping it all over the place and just being like, oh, we are masters of this. These two characters, they don't really, like, they don't look like they know how to use lightsabers very well. Kylo Ren kind of does. Like, he's obviously had training and stuff, but Rey, this is her first freaking time, and it was nice. It was really nice. It was a fun lightsaber fight. Going at it, and they're going at it, and then Rey like kicks his butt, slashes his face where he has a nice nasty scar going down this way, where he actually probably needs the mask as she's about to do the killing blow. Hey, the Death Star 2.0 is gonna blow up right where they are. The planet just starts to split and they move apart. She grabs Finn, and they catch up back with Chewie, and they get back on the Millennium Falcon, and they fly back to the Resistance base. Where, I guess I didn't mention this earlier, R2-D2 is in this movie. I said that, but he's in this movie. And he is powered off for like the whole freaking movie until the end. Because he's sad that Luke went away. It wasn't really explained very well, and he just kind of went on power save mode for decades, I guess. And for some reason, after Death Star 2.0 blows up and everyone comes back, and Finn's healing and Rey's just like explaining everything and stuff like that, R2-D2 turns back on. Oh, convenient! And guess what? R2-D2's got an exact location of where Luke Skywalker is. Oh my god. Convenient, huh? God, this movie. They find out where Luke is, and Rey, Chewie, and R2-D2 get in the Millennium Falcon, and they fly to where he is. And she eventually meets up with Luke as an old Jedi Master. And you know what happens? No dialogue. That's what happens. They see each other, he looks a little confused, and then she takes out his lightsaber and like reaches out to him, and he just kind of looks at her, just kind of like in a very puzzled, like, what should I do in this situation kind of thing, like, what's going on? And she doesn't say anything either. They're just kind of looking at each other, and it is a gorgeously shot scene. My one problem with it, Mark Hamill needs to talk. I love Mark Hamill. His whole career is based on his voice and how good he is at talking, and he doesn't talk at all. This whole movie, he doesn't say a thing. which is fine. It really works well for the movie, but my nitpick is that I just really want to hear Mark Hamill talk. I love hearing Mark Hamill talk. And that's the end of the movie. It ends on them not saying anything on this island that's just kind of like, oh, this is a beautiful, like, what's going to happen? He's going to be the Yoda of the series, and she's going to be his Padawan. He's going to teach her the ways of the Force. It's going to be pretty cool. So, what are my opinions on this movie? It was really, really fun to watch, and it's a pretty good movie. This is not bad by any stretch. But there are a couple of things. It's really similar, at least plot-wise, to Episode 4, A New Hope. It's pretty similar, but not too similar. It's still different enough, where you're not like, oh, it's the same scene by scene, blah, 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 with new characters. It's still pretty different. The characters are definitely different. I like every single one of them, especially Kylo Ren. He's actually a pretty interesting and different character. Let's see what the other films are going to bring us, which, if I had to describe this movie in like a few words, I would say, like in a short sentence, I would say this movie is setup. This movie is it's still fun to watch, even though it's set up, but it's set up for the rest of the Star Wars franchise that they're making, which is fine. Like, you know that silver stormtrooper that is, I think she's in the trailers and she's been in a few of the panels and stuff. She doesn't really do anything in this movie. I hope, and I'm pretty sure, that she is going to be important in later movies and like the sequels and stuff like that. So that's my hopes for that. A lot of the things that happen in this movie just like happen out of convenience. Like, it just happens. Like, oh hey, we got part of the map in the BB-8, but we don't know the rest of it. Oh, but the R2 unit that's been off for a while, off for decades, randomly turns on conveniently, and hey, conveniently, he has the rest of the map. Why? Why was R2 off? What? And why did he turn back on randomly? It makes no sense. It just does. Out of convenience for the script. The script needed to move forward. They needed to find Luke, so I guess that was the way they had to do it. Which is fine. But that kind of makes me think, like, was R2 just being an asshole for, like, the past couple of decades and just not giving the map to anybody when they really needed Luke? Like, people died because R2-D2 didn't want to give up the location of Luke Skywalker for no reason that we know. But the movie is really good, and everybody that's a Star Wars fan is gonna like it. Everyone that's not a Star Wars fan is still probably gonna like it. Kids definitely are gonna like it. There's some dark moments in this movie, like when they use Death Star 2.0 on a planet. So when Alderaan blew up in Episode 4, we just kind of saw this planet. We just saw this planet just go kind of thing. It was just an effect. You didn't really feel anything for it. The only way you knew that people were actually on that planet was when Ben Kenobi was like, I heard 1,000 voices scream and then suddenly silence, or whatever the heck that quote was. I can't remember it word for word. I apologize again. Correct me in the comments. This time, when they shot the Death Star 2.0, we were actually on the planet that was about to blow up. We saw everyone's face. We saw all the people's faces. We saw the laser actually coming down. We saw their moon blow up before it hit the planet, and then we actually saw the planet start to explode while we were on it. That was pretty dark, and it looked really, really cool. It was a really fun element on it. Like, you actually felt for these characters. It wasn't just like, oh, our planet blew up. Oh, that's kind of shitty. Let's go do things heroically. Now we're like, oh, flip. Billions of people just died. Like that. That was pretty cool. The characters are pretty nice. They're pretty well written. We got some interesting backstory, like the stormtroopers. We know how stormtroopers are made now. It's not just clones and stuff. They actually steal kids. I explained that a little bit earlier. Another little thing that they did was they kind of explained, so you know how there's Darth Vader, there's Darth Maul, and there's Darth Sidious. I never understood why they were just like, Darth, Darth, Darth. Is that just a Sith thing? Didn't get that very much. But in this movie, it's not Darth Kylo or Darth Ren or whatever his thing is. It's Kylo Ren. I'm like, that's different. He is a dark side of the Force, so why isn't he Darth? They actually slightly explain that, just like in a passing sentence. Like, they understand it, and then they just kind of said it, and we understood it then. They didn't need to go into super detail, just a short little thing. They were saying he was taught in the ways of the Ren school, or something along those lines. I'm like, oh, so Ren, it's a school. It's a school of dark Force learning. That's why he went Ren. So maybe that's what Darth is. Maybe that like Darth Sidious was in charge of this school, or this study, the way of this certain dark side forcery or whatever the heck it is, and that's why it's Darth Sidious, and then his Padawan's Darth Maul, which took the name Darth, and Darth Vader as well took the name Darth, which it's just pretty freaking cool. This movie is a really fun movie. Of course, there's some problems with it, but they're in every single Star Wars movie, so there's no point in mentioning them or really even dwelling on them. If you like Star Wars, you're gonna like this movie. I kind of wanted a little bit more, but again, I think this is gonna be great. This is good setup. It felt a lot like A New Hope, which it's not too different from it, so maybe the sequel is gonna be just as good as Empire Strikes Back, which is the best Star Wars film. So let's see what happens. I'm excited for the next movie. Okay, so I guess that's all I have to say. It's super late and I have to edit this now. God dang it. Why did I promise that this was gonna be like, this is how it's gonna work? So I guess till next time, I will make another video in about a week or 2 weeks, the after that of Star Wars Episode 7, where I've actually had time to think about it, and I write out a whole script, and it's gonna be interesting instead of just off the fly like the after of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. So, I can't, so that concludes the after of Episode 7, Force Awakens. I will see you guys after that. See ya! Hey guys, it's Scott here, just saying, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please click subscribe or hit like or comment on it. I would love to see your comments. If you disagree with me, please write something. I will totally talk to you about it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and there are definitely more coming your way. So, till next time, see ya!